Am I live? Uh, I guess I'm live. Am I though? Hmm. How do I check it? Yeah, yeah, I can hear myself. Okay, cool. So, hello everyone. It's been a long time since I came back to YouTube. I wanted to, I wanted to be a live streamer, and I also wanted to read JavaScript docs, and I thought, why not do it together? So it's been a long time since I got some free time, and this is at this moment I have nothing to do. So finally, I could read that. Yeah, so let's make that LinkedIn post simple. And no thanks. Okay, let's go to the MDN page, JavaScript. Yeah, so let's see what is in this page. Um, Basically, it's an introduction and some tutorials, and for beginners, for it's a guide, and intermediate and advanced. Okay, so they have our strict mode, and I don't see like debouncing and throttling are not core JavaScript features, but yeah, because they can be implemented in any language, and you have to implement them. So yeah, we have closures. I guess somewhere we will also find hoisting, probably or not. Um, yeah, so let's start with the introduction. So then they have references. We'll go through each one of them like in the coming few days or weeks. Whenever I get time, I'll live stream. Anybody wants to join, they can join. If like not, they can watch, and if not, then not. So JavaScript is a lightweight so lightweight means that it is like it's talking about the size of JavaScript. So it's a lightweight weight, and it does not take a lot translated into bytes. JavaScript, on other hand, every line is during is looked into and then compiled into bytes and then given to the machine. So that's how JavaScript works. Or just in time. I remember from Tailwind. So Tailwind CSS. I guess just in time also means it's like interpreted, but yeah, it also does some storing work also, like caching also. Yeah, but I guess it's mostly like interpreted. And let's look what just in time means. So in computing, just-in-time compilation, also dynamic translation or runtime compilation. Yeah, runtime compilation is interpreted. Uh, and is a way of executing computer code that involves compilation during execution of a program at runtime, rather than before execution. So that's interpretation basically. This may consist of source code translation, but is more commonly bytecode uh, translation into machine code, which is uh, executed directly. So I guess they are talking about Java here, because Java has some kind of this feature where it's compiled, but then later on the bytecode, and it's compiled into bytecode, and then the bytecode is interpreted. So a system implementing a compiler typically continuously analyzes the code being executed and identifies the code where speed up gained from compilation and recompilation would outweigh the overhead of compiling the code. Yeah, so basically, I guess they are, in simple words, they are telling that code is cached, and it looks if like using the cache will help or not. So GIT compilation is a combination of two traditional approaches of machine code: ahead of time compilation and okay, it's actually interpretation plus ahead of time compilation. So it is JIT is something. I guess caching part could be something that it adds, um, because that's what I get from this. Roughly, JIT compilation combines the speed of compiled code with flexibility of interpretation with overhead of an interpreter. Uh, Roughly, JIT compilation combines the speed of compiled code with flexibility of interpretation with the overhead of an interpreter and additional overhead of compiling and linking, not just implementing. Okay, cool. I have very less idea about what this means, but I yeah, so is a form of dynamic compilation which allows. Yeah, so basically it is a form of interpretation which looks how to speed up that interpretation. So that's what basically JIT is, compiled programming language. Something that they should also add is it is synchronous and single threaded, because I have seen a lot of people using that definition for JavaScript. So yeah, that could be nice if that is added here. Uh, is there any edit option? I don't think. Okay, so while it is most well known for scripting language for web pages, many non-browser, yeah, so Node, Apache, Cloud, CouchDB, and yeah, so basically they are telling where it's used. Um, uh, and not the part that specifies the web pages. And so we wanted to I wanted to read the JavaScript only. So uh, standards of JavaScript script language specification. So that's where ES6, ES7, all that comes from. Uh, as soon as one browser implements the feature, we try to document it. Okay, they are telling about this. Do not confuse JavaScript. Okay, and I guess this is the same. They are trying to um, tell us. Yeah, JavaScript. Yeah, I can see it's the same. They are trying to uh, define all of the subsections, I guess. Um, oh, I can edit this. Probably I'll add. Just add it right now. Uh, JavaScript as a lightweight integrated just-in-time compile. Add synchronous single single threaded. Yeah, propose change. I hope it gets accepted. Uh, let's go. So let's go to the basics. JavaScript is a programming language that adds interactivity to the website. This happens in games, in behaviors, responses, when buttons are pressed, and data entry on forms with dynamic styling, with animations, etc. This article helps you to get started with JavaScript and further understanding of what is possible. Let's see if I have any views. Um, oh, one viewer. I did not even promote this, so I guess that's good. So at least one person. Okay, cool. Uh, hey buddy. Um, JavaScript is a powerful programming language that can add interactivity to a website. It was invented by Brendan I, I, Ike, I guess. Uh, JavaScript is a versatile beginner friend. It's very beginner friendly. There's nothing more friendly than JavaScript. Um, with more experience, you will be able to create games, animated 2D and 3D graphics, and yeah, it is like very extensible. So you can do a lot of stuff in JavaScript. And it can actually be anything so JavaScript itself is a relatively compact yet very flexible. JavaScript um, ha- developers have written a variety of tools uh, on top of core JavaScript language, unlocking a vast amount of functionality with minimum effort. These include browsers, application, programming interface. Yeah, so they from that they mean that the functions that the browser provides, I guess. Uh, yeah, so functionality such as dynamically creating HTML, setting CSS style, so DOM, I guess, collecting and manipulating video streams for user webcam or generating 3D graphics. Third-party APIs that allow developers to incorporate functionality in sites from other content providers such as Twitter and Facebook. Third-party frameworks and libraries which can apply to HTML to uh, accelerate the work of building sites and applications. They are talking about React and all that. React, Vue, Quick, Remix, Svelte. Uh, it's outside the scope of this. Yeah, okay. Hello world in JavaScript. Script. So let's do this only. I was thinking to do it in Node, but yeah. So let's make a new folder. JavaScript docs. Hmm. Let's do it in their way only. Index.html, and I'll emit and I'll copy this script because why not? Uh, okay, we are creating an h1 tag, and they want me to create a file called main.js. Yeah, main.js, and just go. So they are query selecting the h1 tag, and they are changing the content to hello world. They can also use inner HTML here. So I know this, so I'm copying this. Something I wouldn't know, I'll not. Um, I guess this should work. Live server. Yep. Hello world. Hello JavaScript. Come on. Okay, cool. We have done this. Okay. Um, So what do we know about variables? Variables in JavaScript are basically very, let's say, weakly typed. It's not that they aren't typed at all, but they are very weakly typed, and you can uh, basically take a number and then make it a string, then make it a boolean, and JavaScript will manage all that. The backend, the semicolon, a semicolon at the end of line indicates where the statement ends. Personally, I'm not. I did used to write a lot of semicolons because I came from a C++ like background from my previous years, but now uh, I have become just too lazy to write that. I know that sometimes it creates a problem where you have to write add semicolons, but yeah, mostly I don't. Sometimes when I know I have to add semicolons, I do add those. Like in this case, if you are, let's say, I make index.js. So in this case, I'm making a function called let a. So and then I'm making an anonymous function call to something console dot log and I'm calling it also. Uh, let's define it in function terms, and I'm consoling log and I'm calling this. Um, why can't I call this? I can call it like this. So that might only be the problem where if I'm not if I'm only defining that anonymous function, JavaScript gets confused, and there are other cases also where JavaScript will get confused, and then it will create a problem where you will have to write semicolons to solve that. But I don't remember those exactly, but yeah. So uh, basically, in such cases, you have to write semicolons, but yeah, usually you can leave them off. You can name a variable nearly anything, but there are some restrictions. Yeah, so there are naming rule convention. You can go and see this. So normally a camel case is followed, and JavaScript borrows most of the syntax from Java, C, C++, and okay. Mm, uh, okay, the JavaScript is case sensitive. So JavaScript is sensitive, and um, semicolon is not necessary, and however it's a best practice, but yeah, I, most it's just a developer preference, so a lot of people do leave it, and I know very good developers that actually on YouTube itself that actually don't apply semicolons, so or apply according to its need. So syntax comments, okay, you can actually just go for comments. You can actually just go and command and uh, slash. So that it's actually something that I use in VS Code. So um, declarations, var let const and yeah. So var is the old way before ES6. It has functional scope. Let is block let and const are block scoped. So yeah, we'll get to it. Um, Variables, declaring variables, uh, evaluating variables. So yeah, uh, so we'll get to this page later on. Currently, let's go back. Um, if you're unsure, check. You can check. What happened to variable naming convention? Va- Naming. The link to the wrong website, wrong page, I guess. Um, name. There are no naming rules here. Yeah, so basically, don't start with a special character. What I remember, don't start with a special character, and um, go like, uh, um, it is case sensitive. Yeah, and use the camel case. That's what a convention is. So let's go further. They are talking about the data types. So there's a string data type which is there in almost every language. Uh, it's or like basically almost every language has a character data type, and the string is an array of characters. So there's a number in there's a boolean, there's array number encompasses both integer and floats. So there's an array and there's an object. So these are the basic data types in JavaScript. Then comments, operators, like they have the same operator in JavaScript. Just there's one, the double equal to there's just two things. Like the double equal to sign just checks if the values are equal. So like if you have a string which has the number 2 in it, and you have a number 2, then if from double equals to, it will tell you that both are equal. But if you have used the single equals to version, it will obviously like if you use the triple equals to version, then it will give you false, because they don't have the same data type. So triple equals to also checks for data types. uh, Let me just yeah, my phone was ringing. I was uh, why can't I find my network? Okay, let's leave it. Okay, so then okay, so anonymous wanted asks what is camel case. So camel case is basically there are two types of camel case. So you start with like one is you start with the um then what um then what you start with uh you um, what do we call, like small alphabets, and then for every new word you capitalize the first letter of the alphabet. So it's something like uh, I this is camel case. Every word is every first letter of the word is capitalized. And what is the difference between Java and JavaScript? So Java and JavaScript are completely different languages where um, Java is basically uh, a language that is let's say more on the it is a compiled language. Java uh, 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 is Java has different applications than JavaScript, though it can be it has more database like data it has more um, application in backend and for like Amazon uses a lot of Java because for data warehousing and so it's used to create applications that way, and its code is very like with JVM you can use the code from JavaScript. Uh, so the code that you write is compiled to bytecode, and then that bytecode can be ran on any platform. So, but JavaScript, on the other hand, uses the browser to compile the JavaScript. So that's what the difference between yup, Java uh, and JavaScript is uh, different. And then also JavaScript is not a very class-based language, though class-based features have been introduced in JavaScript. It's a prototypal language where uh, everything in JavaScript has a prototype, and everything in JavaScript is basically an object. And on the other hand, Java is a class-based language where it follows all the object-oriented programming structures and patterns. So that's the difference. Uh, One more camel case is where you also capitalize the first letter of the first word. Um, it has some different name also. Like a lot of people like to refer it as the camel case, and some people don't. So yeah, you can check that out. Uh, okay, so we know the so conditionals. If we come to conditionals, then uh, we know I told you about triple equals to and double equals to. Functions. So JavaScript in JavaScript, you can make first class functions. So like functions can behave as variables, and you can pass them into like different functions, and that's where you get the functionality of callbacks. So let's say you make a function like let a is equals to s is equals to uh, function console.log hello, and then you can pass that into let b is equals to cd. I pass a callback into it, and I can call that callback, and now I can do this. So b of s, and if I run this using node, so node index js, so it will print hello. So like you can see, I am passing this function as a variable to another function, and then I am like able to use that. So that's what first class function is. So JavaScript, everything is like JavaScript has first class functions. So uh, so if you see something which look like a variable name but is not followed by parenthesis, it is likely a function. Yeah. Uh, it is followed by parenthesis. It is likely a function. Function often takes arguments, bits of data which they need to do their job. So, yep. And for example, yeah, alert is a function that is provided by JavaScript. So makes pop-up box if you want to see what alert does. Let's alert something. ALERT. And this okay, so we have an alert there. So this is what an alert does. um you can define your own functions in the next example. Yeah, so they are defining a function. There are many ways to create a function. So this is one of the way that they are defining the function. You write the function keyword, and then you write the name, you write in parentheses, you write the arguments it will take, and in curly braces you write the code of the function. So that's it. Events. So events is something which is related to the DOM, and real interactivity on website requires event handlers. Each of these codes, these are code structures that listen for activity in the browser. The code runs in response. The most obvious example of handling the click event, which is fired by the browser when you click on something which with your mouse. To demonstrate this, enter the following into your console and click on the current page. So yeah, let's do this. Um, So it's selecting the basically document is the object from the uh, basically mm, this whole thing, the whole page is called the document in JavaScript. So from this to this, um, from the first HTML to the last, and in that we are query selector is a function in JavaScript which returns uh, the element that we have asked, or the first instance of the element. So currently we have selected HTML. If we add dot here, then it will look for a class called HTML. If we add hash here, then it will look for an ID with HTML. So we'll come to classes and ID, but currently we are selecting the HTML element, and we are adding a event listener to it. So as soon as we click it, we want this function to be uh, added. So this is the callback function, which will be executed when we click on the event on HTML, and the event listener takes two arguments. So the first one is a string which defines the type of an event, and the second one defines the callback function. So let's do this. Yeah. Yep. So see, easy. Let's go forward. Oh, mm, yep. So they are first creating a variable which stores this value, and then so yeah, they are just telling us of the many versions. So this is a shorter syntax which was introduced in ES6 version of JavaScript. So um, basically, generally now I have seen coders just prefer this. So this is called the arrow syntax, and it basically does it is just a shorter version. So uh, super for now it's just a shorter version. It has some more features, but yeah. Uh, mm, Supercharging your example website with this review of JavaScript basic completed above. Let's add some new features to our examples. I was thinking this would be easy, but it's a lot of reading. My God, my mouth is a bit hurting. Yeah, so I don't know if, yeah, I guess I'll get the practice of it because I have to speak a lot in my coming years, and I think this will help. So yeah, cool. But yeah, it's difficult to read a lot this much. Okay, read aloud. Obviously, I have read docs for other the like technologies, and it has for reading it is not a problem, but speaking is a problem. So before going uh, any further, delete the current contents. Yep, uh, of the file in a bit you adding an image changer. So in this section, you will learn how to use JavaScript and DOM APIs feature to alternate the display of one of two images. This change will happen as user clicks on display image. Okay, cool. They want us to toggle between two images on click, and so um so what I get is they want us uh to add a image tag src. Have they given an src? uh, Choose the image you want to feature on your example site. Ideally the image to where's the image? They should have given some. Save the image in your images folder. Choose an image you want to feature on your example site. Ideally the image will be the same size as the image you provided previously. Or I don't understand this. Ideally, the image will be the same size as the image you added previously. Where did we add an image? Yeah, confused. But basically, they want us to go search for two images. Let's get a better version of this. Save image. Save. Save image. Save. Let me just change their names because I don't think it will be a very good. Yeah, let's first just copy. Uh, so do they want me to add it in a folder? Yep. So let's just name it one. And oh, Google has started using WebP. I remember they used PNG earlier, so WebP is like uh, better standard for web, like a better has better compression for web. So like whenever you are using image, okay, I guess it's not Google, it's just the website that was this image is from. So basically WebP is more optimized for web, and it has better compression algorithms that make the image look good with less file size. So um, okay, so and then they want us to just get this code, and I'll explain what the code is doing. One dot web. So you can see these icons that I am getting. This is from extension uh, that I have installed. I have so many extensions installed. So what's this extension? What was this? I don't think I can find it. Yeah, uh, that's just sidelining. So I guess you can find it by yourself. But yeah, this is a good extension that I use where I get all these icons, and um, it's just weird. Oh yeah, image preview by Kiss Thomas. I guess Thomas, probably something. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name, but yeah. So so this is a good extension. Um, Coming back to our reading, so um, then okay, so what this code does, it selects the image uh, using the query selector, and then it adds a event listener. So last time we saw how to add an event listener using the uh, add event listener function, which adds any type of event, which you can specify in a string. If you want to just add a, a click, and so click also has this another event listener where you can just add like on click for click, you can add on click on the uh, variable that you have selected and on the tag you have selected basically, and then you can uh, then you can toggle its click, yeah, work on its click. So add a function which happens on its click. So um so now they what they are doing, they are selecting the src. So using the get attribute, they are getting this attribute of the image, and like let's add images slash one button. Okay, and yep, and then they are just toggling based on the previous image. So if the previous image is 1.webp, then they're making it 2.jpg and vice versa. So yep, so see, it's not of the same size. and it shouldn't be of the same size because it's the same size as the image. I guess that's what they meant in that line, I guess. Yeah, the image will be the same size as the image you added previously. Huh, I'm not sure what they mean by this. Uh, okay, okay. So then they have more examples on uh, basically, okay, so this one is actually a decent example. Like, it's an interesting example. Um, let's just allow me, like, I'll just read what they're doing. So they are creating a button. So yeah, let's just do it on now. So they are creating a button, and then they are selecting the button as and the h1 tag. So they also have an h1 tag, and they're selecting it, and then they're adding a function which sets the username. So um, basically, yeah. So this is a function that uh, opens up prompt. So prompt is basically like an alert that we showed, but it also has a text field which the user can enter, turn values into, and then they have a local storage dot set item. So local storage is, let's, in a simple terms, it is a key value database in the browser itself. Um, so you can add, like, this will be the key name and this will be the value. So my name will be the value, and my name will be the answer that we get from prompt. So okay, so and then we are setting uh, the contents of the heading using this. So let's call this one. Okay, so they are checking for if the local storage has a value name, then they are uh, like calling this function, and if it does not have a value name, so they are just saying hi to him. So basically, if you want, like, local storage is used a lot in authentication. So we store the keys in the local storage. So, and we also a lot of time for caching. If you want something to be cached for infinite time, then, or like, basic almost infinite time until it is cleared. So uh, that thing also is stored in local storage. So yep, change user. Yes. Okay, I should have, they should have added a event listener too. Yes, see, they are added. Hmm. There are at the following condition mark. It's good call. One minute. I don't know why are they adding this conditional block. So it should work like this only. Yep. Yep. So it's working like this. Um, Probably they had something else in their mind. So but the thing they should have done is just this. If they wanted it to work in such a way, then they could have just done this. So yeah. Okay, I get it, what they're doing. But yeah, so but they should not do it like this way. So hmm. So without setting, we are getting this. If we did not do it this way, so we won't get this. So yeah. But yeah, adding set username does not make a lot of sense uh, from what I see because um, if you want, yeah, it makes sense when you don't uh, if the user is visiting the first time, then this could be set here. So I get what they are trying to do. So let me just show you. Hmm. Local storage the clear, and if I reload this, I'll get the prompt at the start only. So without the click, and then I can change the user also. So that's how it works. Mm, my phone is ringing. Um, let's ignore it right now. Mhm. Okay, so they are also now they want to manage a case where the user enters a name does not enter a name, so they are trying to manage a using if else they are trying to manage a case where the user enters like this. So he does not mention a name. So the name is none, but obviously it has gotten stored in the local storage. So they are checking for if the name is null, and then they are trying to see see if that function should be called again. The prompt should be called again or not. So yeah. Okay, so we come to the conclusions of the basics. Okay, this was long. My God, my cheeks are hurting. But yeah, publishing your website. Okay, so we are in JavaScript section. Uh, JavaScript, complete beginner, basics. So this was JavaScript basics. Um, let's go to the first steps. The first answer some fundamental question: what is JavaScript? Why is this after basics? This should. They should come before basics. Uh, what is JavaScript? We did that. The first. Okay, so it's basically introducing the next concept. So let's leave this JavaScript building blocks. And so basically these are the concepts from like which are in the other languages. So let's leave this also. Introduction to objects. I guess this is something that will be useful. In JavaScript, most things are objects. Yeah, most things are objects. Yeah, uh, if you leave out the data, like almost everything is objects. So yeah, from core JavaScript features like array to browser APIs built on top of JavaScript, you can even create your own objects to encapsulate related functions and variables. So, how's the stream going? I, s- I still have anonymous wanted. Yeah. Uh, the object-based nature of JavaScript is important to understand if you want to go further with your knowledge on the language. Therefore, we have provided this module to help you. Okay, prerequisite. Yeah, I'm hoping you all know HTML, CSS, and that's why you are into JavaScript. So I have some experience with JavaScript, so I want to just for me it's a way to get properly increasing my knowledge, and so and getting to get deeper into the topic. So that's what it it is in for me, and I guess that's what the same case for you. JavaScript object. So are these concepts, where is this? Okay, okay. Oh, it's a bit complicated what they have done, but I get what they have done now. So if we come back to this complete beginner, we go to first steps, and then we can go to what is JavaScript. Uh, so okay. Uh, it's a high level definition. JavaScript is a scripting or programming language that allows you to implement complex features on web pages. Every time a web page does more than just sit there in a display static information for you to look at, displaying timely content updates, interactive maps, animated 2D slash 3D graphics, scrolling video jukebox. So they are giving us an idea of what JavaScript can do on the web basically. So HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Then we can add some CSS into mix. And so what can it really do? Store useful value inside variables. Ob- so yeah, just like any programming languages. And then JavaScript is just like any other programming language, but then it can also manipulate the DOM. Then it can also integrate with Google Maps that they have mentioned. Geolocation API basically, but yeah. So it can you can use Canvas and create like 3D and 2D animations and audio and video APIs to uh, like manipulate the media. So they are talking. There's some actually some important concepts in this first steps page, like the subsections of the first steps page. So this is how JavaScript works. It takes the HTML, it takes the CSS, and then uh, you are running your code, the HTML CSS inside an execution environment. The browser tab, this is like a factory that takes raw material and outputs the products. So, JavaScript dynamically modifies HTML and updated user interface. Note that the code in your web document is generally loaded and executed uh, in order to appear on the page. Error may occur if JavaScript is loaded and ran before HTML CSS. Yeah, so what they mean is um, you can do two things: either add the script tag at the end of the body, so everything will load and then JavaScript will load, or you can add everything in a document.ready function where like I don't remember the syntax, so document dot ready. Uh, so you can add a function like this where uh, and then add all your code. So uh, you then it will not create bugs of that. Your JavaScript is loading first, and then your HTML CSS is loading. But it's better to just add this at the end. Add this at the script tag at the end. It's not a very good coding idea to go with this because obviously you will face problems when like adding all of this inside this. So this just doesn't make sense. It just makes the code a bit bulky. Hmm. So what I should do? I should just change the headline and JS basics because JS basics we have done, and I think we can do JS first steps today, and then we'll move on because I have some other work. JS first step. Oh, by JS first. That's just no. It's not that big. Okay. JS first steps. Yeah, we'll do till first splash into JavaScript, and we'll continue from tomorrow or continue from here on some other day. So, comma JS. JS first steps, and what is JavaScript, and JavaScript building blocks. So that's when you create. Oh, I went to the word JS physics JS. Okay, till JS building blocks. Okay, let's save this. Hmm. So we come back. So um, a very common use of JavaScript is dynamically modify HTML CSS to update the user interface, and note that code in your web document is generally loaded and executed in order it appears on the page. Error may occur if JavaScript is loaded and ran before HTML and CSS that is intended to modify. You will learn ways around this in the later article in script loading strategies. Okay, so we'll get to it. Browser security. Each browser tab has its own separate bucket for running code. So that's the same with threads. So each tab has its own thread. Each buckets are called execution environment in technical terms. This means that in most cases the code in each tab is run completely separately, and the code in one tab cannot directly affect the code in another tab or another website. This is good for security measure. If this were not the case, then pirates could start writing code to steal information from other websites and other such bad things. Yeah, JavaScript running order. So when browser encounters a block of JavaScript, it generally runs it in orders. Then so yeah, update name. So yeah, so yes, update name. So yeah, it will hoist this function upside in the browser. It generally runs from top to bottom. This means that you need to be careful, and so they are obviously this function will work. So hoisting is a concept which will I think they'll get to it later, but yeah, yeah, so all of these variables are defined at the start of the scope, but then they are defined as they initialize at the start of the scope, but they are defined as undefined. So this will update name will be defined here, but it will be defined as undefined. So undefined will be passed, and that will create a problem. So it's like but basically what they want to convey is that you should write this function upwards. Let me just show you uh, what they mean. So mm, currently it will create a problem. So now I click this. I, Hmm, this shouldn't happen. Let's see what's happening, how it's working. Uh, because this shouldn't happen. Where's the debugger? Debugger. So this is a pain. I don't know where. Let's just debug here only. I don't generally debug using this. I can't find. I can't find the debugger. Hmm. Enable debugger in Chrome. With the running instance of Chrome, right click on Chrome shortcut. Chrome inspect. The way inspector and debugger completely, you can launch it by hitting F12 while you are in the. Yep. Inspect. Inspect is there. Where's the debugger? Where's the debugger? Where's the debugger? Okay. Sources. Yeah. Okay. Hmm. So we have before this line is executed, we have a variable called para in the script context in the script scope. Uh, if we go to the next line, uh, we have para selected, and we are adding query selector on para. So after this is done, hmm, this should not happen. This function is defined after. They are also saying that it will create a problem. I also know from my knowledge that it will not. It should not. It should create a problem, but it isn't creating one. Um, when the browser encounters a block of JavaScript, I think we'll leave it to this only. So we'll not go further. JS first tag. Uh, what is JavaScript and JS running order? Still JS basic before JS running order. Um, when the browser encounters a like before, I guess we'll complete this topic. Till at what point? Yep. So let's just go debug again. Hmm. So currently para is undefined, and we step in the function. So now para is defined, and it has an event listener. Uh, on click on on click. So yeah, so currently, like when we come to this, before this line is executed, on click is null. After it is executed, One minute. Yeah. So we come back to this and we check for on click. Bruh. Okay. This is bugging me out. This is actually playing with the concepts that I know from before. So obviously I started like reading the docs because I also want to learn. So this is something new for me too. Um, I think I'll just end this right now. I'll search for some thing and or because I have to reach somewhere at 6, so I'll search for uh, what what I can do, like or we can come back to this problem in another stream. Uh, but yeah, um, something's fishing me out. Just read this entire paragraph because then we'll get to know what's actually happening. Each uh, yeah, so we know this. Um, when a JavaScript browser encounters a block of JavaScript, it generally runs in its order from top to bottom. This means that you need to be careful what order you put things in. For example, let's run to the block of JavaScript we saw in the first example. Yep, here we are selecting the text paragraph when attaching an event listener to it. So when the paragraph is killed, update name code block 9528 is done. The update name code block, these type of reusable code blocks are called function. Ask the user for new name and then insert the name uh, to update the display. If you swap the order of the first two lines of the code, this it will no longer work. Instead, you would get an error return in the browser developer console. Type error para is. Yeah, I understand that para. If you stop add this before declaring para, obviously para will be undefined and it wouldn't work. But at this point, update name should also be declared as undefined, or I am missing a hoisting functions in JavaScript refers to a process whereby the interpreter appears to move the declared for a variable about this prior to the hoisting to safely use before they are declared. Hmm. Are we sure that this works? My God, am I? Let's just check this out because from what I remember hoisting, um, cat name should be declared upside. Yeah, but it should not be initialized. So the function should not be there. Like it should not have. But let's see. Uh, console. Is it console logging? Yep. Okay. But let me just check with ES6 syntax. See, Okay, okay. I guess for the formal functions, initialization and declaration both happen at the top, and yeah, so that's something new that we learned, which was also a gap in my knowledge. So for the functions, initialization and declaration both happen on the top. For the variables, uh, like if I const, that let will work the same. For var also, let's see. Uh, yeah, for variables only the declaration happens on the top, but not like, let's just console log cat. So from my knowledge, from my understanding, we should get undefined here. Let's see. Yeah, we are getting undefined, and because it is hoisted upside, the var will be like declared somewhere where in the top of the main JS, and then it is initialized here. But if we come function and write it in this way, then it is both declared and initialized at the top. Yep, it is both. Okay, this is something new. Yeah, nice to learn. Cool. Okay, guys. I guess we'll get back to the further topics uh, and from the next video. Where did it go? And this was the end of this stream. Cool.